If you haven't watched the Wendy Williams show, we're sure you've stumbled on an episode of Hot Topics Online or one of the most recent trolls of Wendy farting on live TV. Today, our video features some of the most popular hot topics discussed on the Wendy Williams show. And also, down to the bottom of everything, did Wendy Williams really fart on live TV? Why don't you stick around to find out?
This 19-year-old girl, 22.
Number 10. Kylie Jenner sells stake in Kylie Cosmetics. At just 22 years old, Kylie Jenner has become a great billionaire thanks to her businesses, including her famous Kylie Cosmetics line. Wendy reveals the scoop that Kylie has closed a huge deal and sold a 51% stake of her company to beauty giant Coty for $600 million, an amount she feels is a lot for a 22-year-old who has pretty much done everything. All Wendy remembers is a 14-year-old who now owns more than one could ever imagine. Even though she only gets to keep 49% and is overthrown by the 51%, Kylie is indeed still really passionate about makeup and hair and feels it was a smart and bold move. However, since she already has done almost everything, Wendy raises concerns that at some point one does get bored and friends find a hard time to keep up or catch up to get motivated, since Kylie pays for everything and is bound to attract a couple of bum friends. On the bright side, Kylie still holds a director position at the company and has the luxury to relax more, since now she doesn't have to check in daily to oversee operations and can schedule a weekly visit instead. Also, this deal is a global partnership, which will see her brand expand to territories beyond, which equates to more money. Kris Jenner has indeed done a great job with that one.
Lindsey Vonn, you remember she was with Tiger Woods, and now she's not with him anymore. Well, she's got this boyfriend.
Number 9. Lindsey Vonn proposes to her boyfriend. As an independent woman or a feminist, having equal rights and equality to men is key. However, according to Wendy, some things are better left to the men. The Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn, that was once involved with Tiger Woods, proposed to her boyfriend on Christmas Day, and she gave him an engagement ring. Wendy made it clear that she doesn't approve of it and even insists that there's no way in hell she'd ever consider doing such a thing. Even a majority of her co-hosts seem to agree with her that they prefer the old-fashioned way where the man proposes to the woman instead. If you like it, put a ring on it.
So the royals announced Meghan and Harry on social media yesterday. I think the social media part is wrong.
Number 8. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle step away from royal duties. It seems Meghan and Harry forever stay in the media's eye with the constant royal drama they get entangled in. After announcing on social media that they would be stepping down as royals, it took a downward spiral as the royals didn't appreciate this news, especially the Queen. Not only did they move out from the royal palace, but also decided to move into a renovated cottage in the countryside. Renovations that cost the royals a huge amount of money that they're expected to refund. This move has caused such a drift with the family that people are really wondering who's at fault, with many blaming Meghan, who seemed to be Harry's backbone. I mean, it's not like the guy just suddenly agreed to step down. It must have been something he thought about before, but needed the right woman to help him execute the plan. Aside from being civilians making their own money, the two will no longer receive the monthly $2 million from the Queen, as well as money from Charles. According to Wendy, it was a rather sober idea considering the world adores the couple, and they have the right to be happy, even without being royals.
But the big shocker was that Jennifer Lopez was nominated for nothing.
Number 7. Jennifer Lopez Oscar snub. The Oscar nominations were released, and as Wendy noted, Jennifer Lopez was nominated for nothing. With the role she played in Hustlers, Wendy felt like Jennifer was robbed of the Oscar because they were jealous of her. She feels like they don't consider her to be an actress because she mixes up her acting career with music career, since she's multi-talented. I mean, that's gotta be a really flimsy excuse, right? Wendy even adds more gas to the flame by saying if she was in Jen's shoes, she'd pull out of the Super Bowl too.
No shade intended, Congress. I know all you all went to school, but you're all on that political side are acting like nobody has an education.
Number 6. Cardi B for Congress. For some reason, Cardi B is always relevant when it comes to hot topics. On the latest saga, people were calling her out for having a facelift done after showing up to a party with her face covered. Wendy defends her as a mystique who probably just picked something off the runway and dropped thousands of dollars on it. What caught Wendy's attention, however, is the news she stumbled on Google that Cardi B had an interest in running for Congress. In a post on Instagram, Cardi B was considering returning to school to get a position in Congress because she feels she has some really great ideas. Wendy feels like she doesn't need to go to school since people in Congress never did anyway. This was meant to be sarcastic, but even if they did go to school, they're all acting like they never did anyway.
Security went into the locker room to warn the players, look, don't get out of hand now, you guys. Now you're winners. You better not smoke a cigar.
Number 5. Odell Beckham Jr. arrest warrant. Odell Beckham is a lovable guy, but he does rather stupid things, which in this case was a very stupid thing. Wendy tells him he should have known better with all that cuteness. It's despicable what he did. Wendy goes ahead to troll his hairline on the show before tackling the real hot topic. One of her co-hosts thinks Odell's hairline isn't real, as Wendy tries to spot some hair, as she proceeds with the gossip that there's a warrant out for his arrest. He went to a college football championship game in New Orleans at the same school he'd attended to cheer up the team. After the game, security went into the locker room to contain the team members and ensure no one misbehaves. However, Odell was in the same locker room and he crossed the line by spanking the police. Well, now the cop wasn't playing that, and now Odell is facing battery charges and up to 6 months in jail. Wendy calls him out for being careless and politically incorrect, especially for the time we live in. She points out that he was lucky the cop never filed for a sexual assault, too.
People do bad, but then they grow up, and sometimes there's room for forgiveness. Isn't that Dr. King's thing?
Number 4, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt break the internet. Exes Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt reunited backstage at the SAG Awards after their big wins and broke the internet. Everybody that saw the media leakage of backstage photos was convinced that there was some chemistry between the two ex-lovebirds. According to Wendy, the photos were very telling and even shows her audience one photo where Brad is holding Jennifer's wrist as she rubs her fingers across his chest as she gets on stage to get her award. She terms it as delicately but knowingly, as her co-hosts laugh away at the cheeky joke. In her mind, the two had hooked up several times, even though Brad isn't officially divorced. Wendy wants them to get back together, but Norman doesn't feel it's right due to their toxic past. Even a news poll done revealed 59% of the viewers were convinced that the two should get back together after their photo broke the internet, and Wendy was part of that 59%. She believes people do grow up and change their ways. However, Norman was able to convince Wendy why they shouldn't get back together. It turned out the pictures that were snapshots of the bigger moment revealed that there was nothing romantic about their encounter. In the video, Brad was trying to hold Jennifer's hand by the wrist as she pushed him off, walking away. Wendy was convinced that Jennifer didn't care as much to get back together with Brad after all the scandals and public humiliation he'd put her through. Moral of the story, not everything you see in the media is exactly what you think it is.
One time went off script and tried to rip off the underwear thing that he has on.
Number 3, Jamie Foxx gets slammed. Tommy Davidson, who starred with Jamie Foxx in Living Color, calls Jamie competitive and mercilessly mean in his new memoir. In the book, Tommy has tried to tackle everything, laying things out in the open about what went down behind the scenes and everything away from the public eye. Stuff Wendy doesn't want to dismiss because some of the allegations, such as Jamie ruining Tommy's underwear to embarrass him during the shoots, sounded true. Due to other reasons, she claims only old school would understand since the new generation knows Jamie as a family man. However, she defends Jamie's character and says a lot has been said about him, proving that he's who he is due to his character. Since Tommy isn't as famous as Jamie, all of his allegations come off as clout chasing. But Wendy is ready to get more of a scoop on everything that went on behind the scenes and even requests they book Tommy on the show as they discuss his memoir. Guess Jamie's past is about to catch up to him. Yikes.
Michael Jackson, it was a thought.
Yeah, thought.
But they never did it.
I feel like maybe at an award show or something.
Number 2, Whitney Houston Hologram Tour. First of all, when the dead die, it's great to just let their souls rest in peace. However, celebrities don't always get this luxury, especially when a ton of money is involved. A hologram of Whitney Houston was released, and she/it was meant to, guess what? Go on tour. Wendy just wants to know who's getting this money. Pat Houston, who's married to her brother Gary? She doesn't understand why they can't let it rest. Like with the case of Tupac, whose reception wasn't received well since everybody was freaked out. They even tried it with Michael Jackson, but was never executed. What's even more hilarious is that the hologram figure looks nothing like Whitney. When Wendy was asked about it during meetings, she was shocked at how the hologram was off. Even her audience is stunned by it. Just the front shot has a slight resemblance to the deceased musician. The so-called tour features bands, dancers, and backup singers, including her brother Gary. Wendy proceeds to throw shade and adds, and Pat at the till collecting the money. Wendy asks her co-hosts if they'd pay for such a tour, but nobody seemed to be interested. Which raises the question, which mad person is about to go see a ghost perform on tour and spend their hard-earned cash on it?
Just take a look at the clip and then I'm going to go more in depth.
Number 1, Fartgate. Wendy weighs in on Fartgate. Did she really fart? Wendy dismisses claims that she leans to the side as a cheeky way of releasing a fart. She points out that the reason she does this is that sitting upward strains her back and only does this lean to feel comfortable. She also says that she's been having some obnoxious behavior such as shifting her wig and rubbing her teeth on the show for over 11 years. She clarifies that she's never farted on her show and doesn't even fart often in general, since she talks a lot and most of her gas comes out when she's belching. The fact that it went viral was what made the whole thing hilarious, and Wendy didn't make a big deal out of it. She proceeds to show her audience the clip and explains what was going on. In the clip, it sounds like a really loud fart, and it seems a clothing change would be much needed after that. Wendy even makes fun of it by saying that the clothes would be soiled beyond saving. Wendy says they went over the clip with her manager and clearly someone superimposed the sound. However, according to Norman, he checked the tapes and the sound isn't superimposed and it's in real sense there. The plot twist was that the farting sounds came from the backstage when they were setting up an experiment with Kate the chemist, one which caused the farting sound since they didn't have the right horse pipe. Well, at least now we know it wasn't Wendy. However, what do you think?